Hello and welcome. Welcome to another BIC Podcast session. I am Hassan Asghar. I'm Head of Schools for Business Qualifications at Beacon House International College. I'm your host today, and today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Hamid Raza, who's a very talented business student, and he's a young entrepreneur as well. Hamid, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. And can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, sure. I'm a student at BIC International College, and I'm pursuing my degree in H&D business. I'm currently in semester 4, and I'm also a businessman. I have a very tiny little bit of a business in the textile industry. I collaborate with brands and processes and provide them with solutions regarding their fabric and textile problems.
All right. So can you tell us about your academic journey? How did you decide to come to Beacon House International College?
Well, it was a tough decision. I'll be very honest with you. When we were starting, when I had just completed my A-levels, मेरे पास दो choices थे. Number one was to go abroad, like most of my batchmates did. Go abroad, have an international degree, and that whole hamster wheel. And the other one was to stay back in Pakistan, pursue a local degree somewhere, and just focus on my business. The ideology behind this was that if I'm in an industry for 6 years, it's a good amount of time, right? So if I'm starting, let's say I was 19 at that time, if I'm starting at 19, by the time I'll be 24, I'll have like 5 years of experience under my belt. और उस time मेरे batchmates अभी graduate होके आ रहे होंगे. So कुछ ना भी सही, at least I'll be able to understand conversations better in the textile industry.
All right, that's great. How do you think BIC has supported you in your academic journey, and can you share some memorable experiences as well?
Sure, why not? BIC has been more than a home for me. Everyone is very welcoming. Everyone is very nice to me all the time. I don't know why. तो मुझे आपकी एक बात नहीं भूलती. It was my first semester, and I said I was struggling with classes because last class was at 2 p.m. And I had to be at the office at 1. तो मैंने आपको कहा था कि सर मैं नहीं 2-3 हफ्ते हो गए, I can't stay back anymore. Don't worry, I'll make a choice. And you combined the classes together, so I was free by 12. And it proved to be a very fruitful decision क्योंकि सारे बच्चे जो सारे मेरे batchmates थे, they were very happy that we're done with university by 12. It became a flex to people who are attending university till 5 p.m. कि यार we go at 9 and we're done by 12 because our classes are back to back.
All right.
So you guys have just been very, wonderful.
I remember that basically. I think handling the timetable or making changes to timetable is quite hectic,
It's very, very hectic.
It's quite mind-boggling at certain times.
There's a lot going on. Management is a key decision in everything. Even एक दफ़ा एक और experience मुझे याद है. I'd like to share that with you. It was my global कौन सी क्लास होती है सर वो
global business environment
class. सर उस्मान was my teacher, and ना उन्होंने कुछ मुश्किल सा पढ़ाया, and it was about something export and import related. तो एक दफ़ा क्या हुआ कि we went to this fair, I guess. Yeah, it was an exhibition called Textile Asia. It's a very big exhibition. There's people from China over there, people from Taiwan, and just promoting their stuff and their basic जो होता है the textile products. So I was there, and I was joined by some of the pioneers of the textile industry in Faisalabad. I'm confused. मुझे किसी चीज़ का नहीं पता वहाँ पे. मैं बस वहाँ चला गया हूँ शौक में. तो अब मैं वहाँ गया हूँ, and there was this Chinese person sitting, and because I knew what textile products are, I wanted to get the price of one. मैंने एक yarn की price लेनी थी उनसे, and I was prepared to talk to him, right? Because Sir Usman had just taught me about वो CNF क्या होता है, LOC क्या होता है, all that stuff. And I'm going, and I just उसको भी English नहीं आती, मुझे भी I'm not a very good English speaker, but I went to him and I was just like, I need this, and can you quote me the price on this? And he just gave me a price. And I didn't think much of it until an uncle stopped me. What happened? And he told me that I have been chasing this man for the past 4 days. I have been with him in Karachi, I have been with him in Lahore, and now I am with him in Faisalabad. And he is giving me a per kg price that is much higher than the first initial price he offered you. Why is that? मुझे उस टाइम तो समझ नहीं आया, मगर बाद में मुझे पता लगा because I was I think because I was straight, you know, I was very to the point with him and I didn't waste his time. Maybe that's why he commented me. But वो एक चीज़ थी, मैंने सर के पास आया, rant पे मैंने, सर आपने कल बचा लिया, मेरी इज्जत रखी. Because
so you were able to show them that you know what they're talking about, basically.
That's because of BIC.
That's great. Good to hear that. Sometimes we have lots of students who are into entrepreneurship.
Sure.
And it's always a challenge to manage time between your studies and your business. So what's the secret trick which you have to manage time between your studies and your business as well?
Sir, there is no secret trick. One thing in this world that is very finite is time. Even if you're a billionaire, even if you're a student, no matter who you are, you still have 24 hours in your day. किसी के पास time ज़्यादा नहीं हो सकता. What you need to do is make less decisions in a day, automate more behaviors so that you can have more time to do what you actually want to do. Right? So if I'm waking up every day and I'm spending like 1 hour on getting ready and choosing my outfit and having my breakfast and even just initially getting ready, I only have 23 hours left.
Yeah, exactly.
उनमें से 8 घंटे तो मैंने सोना. You see? So you have to manage your time and automate your behaviors so that you can do what you actually want. Make the most of it.
So can you refer to any of the circumstances where faculty could have helped you, somewhere where you're facing difficulties while managing time or something like that? Since you are into the both, like...
both worlds.
Both worlds, exactly. I should say like one person who has his feet in his two boats, basically.
Yeah.
So, जिसको हम उर्दू में कहते हैं दो कश्तियों
का सवाल.
So what do you think, like where faculty could have helped you, and what is your suggestion for other students who are trying to be the same?
Faculty has helped me and could have helped me more in teaching me. Right? And I don't mean कि मेरी class में जो मेरा curricular में just teach me that. It also means that you need to incorporate real world knowledge with education. Take any university graduate, take any school going person who's getting a Cambridge degree or an HEC recognized degree or even a Pearson degree, and have them go to a bank. Have them perform normal daily banking tasks that clerks do or people do, and see them fumble. Not because they don't have any kind of education, but because they don't have that kind of experience. वो थोड़ा सा ज़रूरत है of real world education.
So once you were a young entrepreneur, definitely starting something new in your life is most of the times a bit challenging. So once you started your own business, as a young entrepreneur, what challenges did you face? And basically, do you have any advice for other young entrepreneurs?
Sir, everything is not easy. Everything is not quick. We're a social media generation. We spend too much of our time watching 30-second, tidbits of reels and stuff, and we're very into what's next. And that is greatly impacting our business decisions as well. जो चीज़ नई शुरू होती है, लोग उस पर चढ़ जाते हैं. Whether it's Shopify, whether it's वो क्या था, e-commerce platforms and Amazon VAs and stuff like that, NFTs, जो चीज़ नया आता है मार्केट में, even cryptocurrency, हम सब उसके पीछे चले जाते हैं because we think that being rich is about doing hustle for a month or 2 or 3 months. You're not even going to see results for the first 2 years. I didn't. 2.5 years, and I started seeing results like barely a month before coming in this podcast.
So as a young entrepreneur, who was your role model? Who was your mentor? Basically, who guided you to this?
Who guided me, right? You're asking.
Yeah, exactly. Who guided you through this? it's always like whenever you're something into something new, you need a mentor basically.
Sure.
So who was there to guide you through
There's
this journey?
this one person, and he has been my light and my guide through all this, and I hope that he'll always be my light and my guide in life. It's my father. Basically, I am not, very, you can say, impressed by stories you read or people you see on screen and all those big time billionaires. I like to see things firsthand. All the stories you talk about, I like to see facts. So my father started his entrepreneurial journey when he was 19. And he has like 32 years of experience under his belt in the textile industry. And you see him do things so effortlessly and so, with a very suave and calm composure. And when I try to do the same things, it's like I have to manage 6 or 7 things at once. So, unki guidance, unka knowledge, unka attitude, unka confidence, they have inspired me to be to try and be the best, because that guy it's otherworldly how hard he can work. He's up by 10, subah 10 baje he's on phone, he's working, he's communicating, he's networking and all that. And even when he goes to bed before 12 or 1, he's talking to me about what happened in the day and guiding me कि यहाँ तुझे ऐसे करना था, वहाँ तुम्हें ऐसे करना था, this is what you did right, this is what you did wrong, these are the things you need to manage. So it's my dad.
That's great. Achha, what do you think? Many of the successful entrepreneurs which we see around us, they have certain traits, certain personality traits and all that. What do you think, for a businessman, for an entrepreneur and for a student, what do you think, what are important traits?
Consistency, innovation and confidence. If you're not consistent, you're not successful. There's this story, and you can see real world examples of this. So basically ना, जिस तरह हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी है ना, there's a university and auditorium की 2 sides थी, left and right. And the teachers were right कि जो right side वाले हैं, they have to take 1 photo in the whole 6-month semester. And it has to be a masterpiece. और जो left side वाले हैं, they have to take hundreds of photos, and it doesn't matter if it's not a masterpiece or not. By the end of the semester, when they handpicked, the photos, guess which group had the most masterpieces?
I think it probably could be the one who was like told to be taking most pictures basically.
Yeah. And why is that? The one on the right, the people who were just chasing perfection and they had to take, one masterpiece, they were spending all their time thinking and not actually doing. उनके दिमाग में तो there was a perfect photo, but because they did not have the necessary skills, it didn't turn out to be as good. They were very mediocre. While the right side ones, they were experimenting. They were sharpening their skills as they were taking more and more photos and spending more and more time with their cameras. Okay, ultimately, they didn't have to think about taking a masterpiece. They was just trying to, take a good photo. Lighting set kar loon, ye kar loon, wo kar loon. And it just shows us that consistency and repetition of a behavior is very important than perfecting that behavior.
So you're saying that in order to build a skill, you need to repeat that task again.
Yeah, sure.
So once the repetition begins, refinement comes and skill improves and all that.
So I have a real world example of that. I have a very good friend of mine, and he's an artist. He has been dabbling in, professional paints and professional arts since he was like 11 or 10. And I see this guy and I'm like, he has reached a level of refinement like most painters have not. Why? He made it his passion, his hobby. He made it something fun to do. And that is only achievable when you are consistent on it. Even when he's, watching a television show or something, वो कुछ ना कुछ बना रहा होता है, he's doodling something. And in order to achieve that consistency, he also improved his environment. सिर्फ वो बार-बार चीज़ें बना रहे हैं, वो important नहीं है. उसके घर वाले उसका support कर रहे हैं. They're being very welcoming. They're not minding art supplies around the house. They're getting him supplies. और अब you see his work, and you see, someone who's trying to chase perfection, it's going to be a night and day difference.
So let's come to the rapid fire section. We have a fun segment as well.
Sure.
So let me ask you some of the trivial questions basically in the rapid fire segment. So you have to answer it in like 10 seconds.
All right. I'll try my best.
Okay. So what's your favorite book?
Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. वो Nike founder, wrote a book.
Okay. And one best thing you can't live without?
My family.
Okay. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food currently is loaded fries. But if I want to go to my all-time favorite, it's definitely and most definitely would be pasta.
Okay. And what's the best piece of advice which you have ever received from someone?
The best piece of advice I have ever received is one profitable business is better than 4 non-profitable ones.
All right. Okay, that's also very right. Basically, you need to focus on something.
You just need to focus on one thing.
Exactly. I think being a human, it's very important that we feel like that multi-skilling is an art, but human mind is built to focus on one thing at a time.
So, multitasking is just overstimulation. We have trained our brains to be, stimulated by so many things in our environment. We don't even know what's going on. Like, you're using your phone, the TV is on, right? There's music playing. You can hear the noise coming from the outside, people talking in your house. It's like 3, 4, 5 things going on around you, and it leads your brain to be exhausted. Even if you don't know it, it's still working in the background. So it's very important to cut out unnecessary things from your life, to cut out unnecessary practices, and just keep your mind free. Let it play around. Let it come up with ideas. Tabhi fayda.
And what's your role model in the business world, if we talk about that?
Well, as I explained before, it would be my dad. And if I had to choose someone who's not related to me, I would definitely be looking at, some of the more successful people in the world. Like, I won't talk about any Bill Gates or Elon Musk types. I am focused on more people who are building, a sustainable brand or business. Like Jeff Bezos is a very good example of using the .com era to his,
benefit
advantage. And he started by selling books. Amazon was a bookstore, and it is now a corporate giant.
And it has evolved quite a lot. They're into space technologies as well, and they're sending rockets into space as well. They are trying to compete with Elon Musk as well.
Well, I won't say anything about the competition between them two, but I know one thing's for sure, that they grew because they had an open mind. Yeah, they had that kind of let's do this and try strategy. Maybe that's why they succeeded.
All right. Achha, another question. If you could travel anywhere around the world right now, where would it be?
Ibiza. I need a vacation.
Okay. So everyone needs that, I think.
Yeah, I guess so.
Favorite way to relax your long day? If you had a long day at work and maybe at college, you attended the both and you had a very long day.
Well, my days usually start at 8 a.m. and they end at 11 p.m. And as soon as I get home, I need my comfort food, whatever I'm craving for the day. I want to put on my favorite show and I just want to relax, eat and watch in peace before going to sleep.
And what time you wake up, by the way?
If I have to be at college at 9, then I'm waking up at 8:30 because I live very near to the college, so it's like a 5-minute drive. So it takes me roughly 9.5 minutes to get ready.
Okay. Achha, are you an early riser? Like, we've heard a lot about that, early rising and all that.
Not at all. My brain is at its full capacity at 3 a.m. Like the rest of our generation, रात के 3 बजे मुझे दुनिया बदल ली. सुबह 8 बजे मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही. But the thing is कि since I'm a businessman, so no industry, no college, no, let's say, office is open at 3 a.m. and I have to be, follow the 9 to 5 rule until I change it, of course, in the future. तब तक यही follow करना पड़ेगा.
So one word that describes you best.
Overthinker. That describes you best.
Okay. Acha, how do you handle challenges in life? Maybe you might have certain setbacks and certain experiences.
Sure.
Would you like to share some, like any setback, any experience that has given you a moral, that has given you a certain lesson, which you'd like to share with someone?
Well, when you're in the business world, and there is a very popular saying that my dad once told me, and it was told to him by someone. It's not my experience per se, it's his. So he's working with someone, और वो बताते हैं कि यार I was working and I wanted to get something done from him. मैं जाता था, सुबह आना, कल आना, परसों आना, घंटे तक आना, आधे घंटे बाद आना. It's like he's just calling me again and again, giving me, that तारीख पे तारीख वाली thing. And I burst out. Called me, made me sit down, did my work, and then he told me something very educational that you have to always remember. Like, kya? Like, life is not easy. You have to stay calm. You're a Suzuki Mehran, and you have to have a radiator of a 18-wheeler truck. So you always have to keep your cool. You can't make emotional, impulsive decisions. इसकी मेरे पास बहुत अच्छी स्टोरी है. I have not learned a lot from my mistakes, unfortunately. I plan to not keep repeating them, but there is something I learned a lot from one of my experiences here, and it's an actually very fun story. Would you like to listen to it?
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am Sabha, you know Ma'am Sabha, I mean?
Yeah.
They had an entrepreneurial gala last year. Do you remember that? Those are, I think, 22 की बात है. आपने guest बुलाए थे. What was his name?
I think Vanessa.
No. He was a guy. He's an old guy. Something Gaba something.
Dr. Habib Aslam Gaba.
Yeah, that guy. So मुझे ना मैम ने एक दिन पहले ना बहुत ज़्यादा very harshly she was talking to me that you're not participating, you're not doing anything. What good are you? She literally said, what good are you to me? And I got a little embarrassed and I thought कि मैंने तो अब कुछ present करना. What I did was I took some furniture. I put it on the. I also have a photo of that. I put it on the the gala stage where it was happening. I put out some sweets, and I had a whiteboard on my back, and I wrote, "What do you want in a workspace?" And I was basically just selling a co-working space that people want. And that guy came. I had no business plan. I had no intent of doing this, doing that in real life. And he came, he listened to me, went, I got a third position, it's over. But a month later, I think it was Ramazan or something, I get a call. Like, who is this? Like, I'm this guy and I met you there. And I really loved your idea. Would you like to work with me on that? I'm willing to invest. And I told him, sir, कि ये सुबह शुरू हुआ था बिजनेस और शाम को ख़त्म हो गया. क्योंकि मुझे नहीं करना ये. I am perfectly happy doing what I want. I just wanted to prove a point to ma'am that I can be useful. And he was like, come to my office, we'll talk. I was like, you can come to my office as well. And we'll have coffee and we'll talk. But I'm not interested in pursuing another business. I'm perfectly happy where I am.
All right. Achha, so you were talking about that business entrepreneurship gala which you had, and you were like, I think you also got a position in that.
Yeah, I told you I got third position.
You presented your co-working labs. I think co-working places are quite bustling up, and they are opening. We are always seeing new co-working spaces opening up in major cities of Pakistan as well. So let's talk about what do you think as far as if you're running a business, maybe like you think building a business is more important or building brand is more important?
Are you talking about me personally or in general?
I'm talking personally. Let's suppose, what do you think as an entrepreneur, as a young entrepreneur, what do you think?
Brands are vampires. They ask for your blood. If you're building a brand, you are pumping life into an inanimate thing. Steve Jobs was kicked out of Apple. Phil Knight, the guy at Nike, he's not working with Nike anymore. Brands are a living identity. But to make a brand, that's a very, very crucial process you have to go through. You cannot compromise on anything. You have to keep a certain image. You have to, have that consistent branding going on throughout your business decisions, throughout your employees, whatever you're doing, your brand all the way around. But when you're a business, you're working with brands. Like, I'm in the clothing industry now, and I received so many suggestions of opening my own brand because I have access to all the required raw materials and the people, and they're like, why don't you create a brand? And I'm like, there are 500 to 600 brands in my personal survey right now operating in Pakistan. A lot of them are major, a lot of them operate from their houses, a lot of them, don't even have a proper office, but all of them are my customers, potential ones at least. I can work with them in the future if I'm a businessman. So if I'm building a business, it's more important than I'm building a brand, because then I'm just that one of 500-600 people on my survey list. But if I'm a business, I can flexibly go around each and any of them.
All right. How important in a business?
If you're not flexible, you're going to get cramps.
So you think like you should always have a contingency plan, and things seldom, they never turn out as you planned. Maybe you have to have a plan A, B, C.
No, it's not about planning. It's about your mindset. There are 3 kinds of people in this world. One who don't care what's going on. They're not good businessmen. Then there are reactive people who are reacting to whatever is happening around them. There are mediocre businessmen. And then there's a proactive person who's not reacting to the circumstances. I'm not answering you. I'm not, you can say reacting to what you're telling me. I have something in my mind, I'm going to do that. If I'm here to sell you something, मुझे कहना नहीं चाहिए. My reaction would be, क्यों नहीं चाहिए sir? I'd be very desperate. But if I'm a proactive person, I'd be very, यार तुम्हें ये नहीं चाहिए तो और क्या चाहिए? This is not my life and blood. If you don't want this stuff, what do you want? Let me give you what you want. You actually have to listen. So flexibility and having less rigidity and the willing of working with people instead of shoving your products down their throat is something all of us can benefit from.
The way you are progressing, where do you see yourself in upcoming 5 years?
5 years.
Yeah.
I just have to think about it for a moment. Well, the ideal scenario would be to be in the closet and on the backs of every woman in Pakistan.
All right. So you want to build a major clothing brand, by the way?
No. I want to work with every commercial brand that's available, or at least the ones who sell the most. So I can end up in almost, every Pakistani women's closet. The fabric I make is owned by everyone, and whenever I go out on the road or whenever I'm visiting a public place and I see someone, if my sisters or my mother buys, a piece of clothing and they bring it back home, I want to have a story to tell. I want to grab that fabric and be like, yaar, ye maine banaya. Mere se liya hai inhone. That's the level I want to see myself in 5 years. Uske baad ka, I haven't thought that much. Uske baad ka, I'm leaving it up to God. I want that.
All right, that's great. I wish you reach there very soon.
Thank you so much.
And if we talk about certain industries are performing quite well right now. If you talk about young entrepreneurs, which industries do you think are performing well? Which industries to enter, as far as if you talk about young entrepreneurs, which industries they should enter?
End up in an industry that you actually enjoy being in. If you're an actor, if you're a creative person, if you're an artist and you end up in a very corporate and grey lifestyle, you're not going to have fun. You're going to be the worst employee ever because you're not having fun. आप जिंदगी में कोई भी काम करो ना, you should have fun doing it because फिर वो काम नहीं लगता. It's just your passion. फिर उसके लिए आपकी नींद पूरी हो ना हो, आपने खाना खाया है नहीं खाया, you've done your daily rituals or not, your hair look good or not, it doesn't matter. You're just there to work. Because you're actually enjoying the work itself rather than the rewards it brings or, the benefits you gain. You just enjoy the work.
All right. So, what do you think? Why students should choose BIC, and how BIC is helping to shape up future entrepreneurs?
Firstly, because they're very good people.
Thank you.
They are very hospitable, understanding, and flexible. दूसरा ये है कि when you're talking about BIC as an institution in general, Beacon House is a brand name in Pakistan. It's preferred by a lot of people, and it's a great way to bring education from the UK or from America to right here in Faisalabad, because I am having the same qualification as my batchmate who went abroad. But I am also doing my business and I am doing my degree so effortlessly because BIC वाले बहुत ज़्यादा ना आपको फ्री हैंड देते हैं टू बी क्रिएटिव. क्लास लेनी ले लो, असाइनमेंट नहीं समझ आ रही बैठ जाओ. When you do something fun, why not do it on campus? Like playing guitar, play in our corridor. You're an artist, let's put up your photos in our fashion lab. So जो वो एक attitude है that combined with an international qualifications, I think for people who can't leave, yeah, for people who don't want to leave, yeah, even for people who are looking for universities in Faisalabad or in their local vicinity, I think BIC is the best option there is.
Right. That's great. So Hamid, since you're working in the textile industry in Faisalabad, can you share some facts about the industry and what's your role in that industry?
The first and foremost fact would be the textile industry is huge. It's a very versatile ocean and it's filled with a lot of jobs, business opportunities, and there's frankly just a lot to do. You can earn money any way you like because textiles have been an integral part of Faisalabad and Pakistan since before independence, and there is just a lot of opportunities in this industry. Like I'll give you an example. You remember we went to NIC that day?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, when you enter the second floor, thoda sa piche jaake na, there was a startup about transforming textile waste into handbags and crafts and stuff. I don't remember that name, but they were basically just upcycling, taking textile waste from different industries and just combining them and exporting them as luxury finished goods. And Pakistan ki industry mein we don't export that much finished goods. Even when you're in the textile industry, if you're making something like throw pillows or bed sheets or pillow covers or all the export level stuff, a very huge chunk of that is unfinished, or it needs to be refined or packed once it reaches the destination country. But having something ready to use like full shirts, full process shirts, or like handbags made from textile waste and stuff like that, it's very impressive. So it just shows you कि यार textile industry में बहुत काम है. You just have to keep an eye out for that.
I think textile industry is also evolving and adopting more greener practices with the passage of time. They're also considering water recycling as well. And they're also considering about clothes recycling as well. Used clothes are being recycled and all that. So I think conserving environment is the way to go in future. It's very important that you conserve and you go for sustainable development, which basically ensures your long-term growth.
It is very crucial. You're very right. We have this environment only, once. Someone told me that this is the hottest summer for the rest of your life, and there was this other person who said कि नहीं यार, this is the coldest summer for the rest of your life. Have you visited northern areas recently?
Yeah, I've been there a couple of weeks ago, and what I felt like was that they were pretty warm nowadays
as compared to what we thought them out to be. Yeah, हमारे past experience में तो वहाँ we packed all wintry stuff and it was very hot.
Exactly.
It's a very alarming situation, and we need to work on it on a personal level. We can plant trees एक ही बहुत है. You know, on a personal level, just start talking about it, start doing something. And I think that's what the textile industry is doing, especially with the water management system. That is very important because water is also a finite resource. Masood Textile Mills has something, you know, along the lines of proper waste management, and all the textile mills operating on an international level and catering to international clients are very, you can say, self-aware and adopting a very green culture. But to be very very honest, जो majority है, it doesn't matter to them because we're still a third world country. और हमारे लिए production और हमारे लिए cheapest goods production, you know, lowest unit cost and all that kind of stuff is more important to us than conserving an environment. तो वो local level पे there is so much disparity than the, you know, the few firms operating internationally. कि textile industry में ऐसे upcycling startups और ये वो चीज़ें आना is a very good thing because local also needs to focus, and NIC is, you know, doing a great job fostering that business I talked about. मुझे उसका नाम अगर याद आ जाए ना, that would be very delightful.
It's a clothes recycling business, basically.
I don't know the
recycles
name.
clothes. I exactly don't remember the name as well. But I believe that many of the countries which we are exporting to, they also want us to be sustainable and environmentally friendly. Especially if we want talk about the big names like Nike and Adidas, they want suppliers which are environmentally friendly.
Because they're not living here now. They don't know the quality of life that exists here. People want to survive. Things have gotten so bad in the past couple of years that survival is an accomplishment. Especially when we're, you know, moving down the salaried class. Survive करना जब मुश्किल होता है ना sir, then sustainability and the demands of international clients matter the least. What matters the most is not being hungry and sleeping well at night.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Hamid, for being here with us. It was amazing hearing from you.
Yeah, thank you
And
so
I
much.
think you shared something which is very useful for the students who are looking up to entrepreneurship as well. So we look forward to have more of you as well on the podcast session.
Sure, why not?
So maybe we'll do another podcast session sometimes in the future.
Sure.
So thank you very much until then.
Thank you so much for having me.